If you already made money outside of your job, you already crossed the line most people never cross. But here's the part that nobody tells you. That is when you become exposed. Not when you start, not when you think about it, but when the money starts rolling in. Because now you're not experimenting anymore. Now you are responsible. And most people don't change how they operate when that happens. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make and protect your business profit.
He's on fire!
We're going to start with section 1. That is the false goal. Most people think the goal is making money. That's the first mistake. Making money is the easiest part of the business. You could sell something once. You could get lucky, or you could sell consistently for a week. But that doesn't mean you built anything. That just means the money showed up. The real goal is not making money, it's building something that can maintain it. And most people don't have that. They have activity, they have excitement, and even a little traction, but they don't have infrastructure. In section 2, we're going to talk about what it really means to be exposed. When I say you're exposed, I'm not talking just legally. I'm also talking about operational exposure. Let me break that down for you. Financial exposure means money is coming in, but you don't know what's profit, you don't know what's expenses, and you don't know what's sustainable. You feel like you're winning, but in actuality, you're a little bit behind. Legal exposure means you have clients, transactions, expectations, and risks. No structure. Everything is tied to you personally. Strategic exposure means you don't know why the money came in, how to repeat it, or how to grow it. So now you're not operating a business, you're responding to randomness. And that's what exposed actually means. Before we move on to section 3, if you find this information helpful, please like, comment, or subscribe to the 9 to Freedom podcast. The podcast airs every Thursday at 4 p.m. Okay, moving on to section 3, the credibility shift. Now, what's interesting is one of my most viewed videos on my channel is how to start an LLC. And at that time, that's what I thought people needed, how to start a business. But what experience teaches you is that's not the real question. The real question is, when does this become something I need to structure? Because paperwork is easy, but timing is everything. Anyone can show you how to file, but knowing when it actually matters is the difference maker. Okay, section number 4, the pivot point. There's a very specific moment where your side hustle becomes real. Not when you get excited, not when you tell all your friends, and not when you make a logo. It happens when income becomes consistent and expected. People are coming back. You're delivering positive results. That's when the money becomes predictable. And now you have responsibility, expectation, and exposure. And that is the pivotal point. Structure is no longer optional. At this point, if you're operating casually, you're not free. You're being careless. Moving into section 5. The 3 pillars of real business. At this point, you don't need motivation, you need infrastructure. Pillar 1 is visibility. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. You need to know revenue, expenses, profit, and what's actually working. No visibility means no control. And pillar number 2 is control. Money should not control you. You should control the money. That means deciding what gets reinvested, saved, and spent. And that's how businesses grow instead of survive. And pillar number 3 is protection. Now we talk about separation, structure, and yes, starting an LLC when appropriate. Not because it sounds official, but now you have something to lose. Section number 6, we're going to talk about the bridge strategy and how to level up. Most people stay at level 1, job, skill, income. But the real transition is income, structure, systems, and ownership. And that's where freedom is built. And that is when your stress goes down. Income becomes more stable, where you stop thinking like a worker and think like a boss. Next, we're going into section 7, and that is the toasty tip of the day. And the toasty tip of the day comes from my girl, Candy.
Hey, quick toasty tip of the day. If money is hitting your account consistently, you're not just making extra money anymore. You're running a business. And that means 3 things have to change immediately. First, you need visibility. If you don't know exactly what's coming in and what's going out, you're guessing. Second, you need control. Your money shouldn't just land and disappear. You should be directing it with intention. And third, you need protection. Because once income becomes consistent, you now have something to lose. Most people celebrate making money, but they never upgrade how they operate. That's why they stay small.
Ooh, thank you, Candy, for today's toasty tip of the day. Now we're going to move into section number 8, execution. If you're making money right now, do this immediately. Separate your accounts, track everything, evaluate your risks, put basic structure in place, and start building repeatable systems. You are no longer testing, you are now building. If you have made money outside of your job, comment level 2 below. Now you're playing in a different game. And if you're ready to build right away, go to 9tofreedom.life and find out your freedom score. Making money is step 1. Building something real is the goal. This is the 9 to Freedom podcast, and we are airing every Thursday at 4 p.m. I am also an Amazon affiliate, so it is no cost to you when you click the link below and shop around. Also on Amazon is my book, 9 to Freedom, Fire Your Boss Edition. And I'm going to read a little something, and I just randomly do this, by the way. Chapter 6, Fire Your Boss. Look at there, the transition plan. Phase 1, side hustle mode. Build nights and weekends. Phase 2, replacement mode. Cover your freedom number. Phase 3, transition mode. Reduce hours or go part-time. Phase 4, full freedom mode. Quit with confidence. Fear versus freedom. Now, phase 4 is the scariest part. Let me tell you when you're ready. Number 1, your business covers 70 to 100% of your freedom number. Number 2, you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. Anything can happen in business. This is how we weather the storm. Number 3, you have systems in place. Number 4, your family/household is on board. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, share with your mom and them, and also tell them to buy the book. See you guys next week.